Marxism was a product of the initial period of capitalism, when productivity was low and science was underdeveloped. It didn't have a correct understanding at all of the relationships between humanity and society or humanity and nature. However, this heretical ideology, lacking in benevolence and tolerance, and filled with arrogance, was held up by the Communist Party as its religious doctrine and harmed the human world for over a century. From Lenin's theory of violent revolution to Mao Zedong's theory of continuous revolution under the dictatorship of the proletariat, to Jiang Zemin's three represents, the Communist Party's history is full of such heretical theory and fallacy. Although these theories have caused endless disasters in practice, and the fact that they are self-contradictory, the Communist Party still proclaims that they are universally correct and forces the people to study and accept its doctrines. Eliminating dissidents is the most effective means for the evil cult of communism to spread its doctrine. Because the doctrine and behavior of this evil cult are too ridiculous, the Communist Party has to force people to accept them, relying on violence to eliminate dissidents. After the Chinese Communist Party seized the reins of power in China, it initiated land reform to eliminate the landlord class. It initiated socialist reform in industry and commerce to eliminate the capitalists. It initiated the movement to purge reactionaries, to eliminate folk religions, and to eliminate officials who held office before the communists took power. It initiated the anti-rightist movement to silence intellectuals, and it initiated the Cultural Revolution to eradicate traditional Chinese culture. The CCP was able to unify China under the evil cult of communism and achieve a situation where everyone read Mao's Little Red Book, performed the loyalty dance, and, as the saying goes, asked for the party's instructions in the morning and reported to the party in the evening. In the 1980s, when people's minds had just a little more freedom, the CCP came up with the anti-bourgeois liberalization and proposed the four fundamental principles, because the Communist Party craved absolute leadership. In 1989, when young students peacefully requested democracy and opposed corruption, they suffered the bloody repression of the Tiananmen massacre, because the Communist Party could not tolerate the democratic ideology. From 1999 to this day, the CCP has been brutally persecuting Falun Gong, because the party cannot tolerate human nature and kindness. Only when they have destroyed people's conscience with violence can the Communist Party feel secure about its own power. From Marx to Jiang Zemin, the portraits of Communist Party leaders are prominently displayed for the public to worship. The absolute authority of the Communist Party leaders forbids any challenge. Mao Zedong was set up as the Red Sun and Big Liberator. The party spoke outrageously about his writing, saying, "One sentence equals 10,000 ordinary sentences." As an ordinary party member, Deng Xiaoping once dominated Chinese politics like an overlord. Jiang Zemin's three represents theory is merely a little over 40 characters long, including punctuation, but the CCP Fourth Plenary Session boasted it as providing a creative answer to questions such as what socialism is, how to construct socialism, what kind of party we are building, and how to build the party. Stalin's wanton slaughter of innocent people, the catastrophic cultural revolution launched by Mao Zedong, Deng Xiaoping's order for the Tiananmen Square massacre, and Jiang Zemin's ongoing persecution of Falun Gong are the dreadful results of the Communist Party's heretical dictatorship. On the one hand, the CCP stipulates in its constitution the following: all power in the People's Republic of China belongs to the people. The organs through which the people exercise state power are the National People's Congress and the local people's congresses at different levels. no organization or individual may enjoy the privilege of being above the Constitution and the law. On the other hand, the CCP Charter stipulates that the CCP is the core of the leadership for socialism with Chinese characteristics, overriding both the country and the people, causing this specter from Europe to spread all over the Chinese nation. The organization of the Communist Party is an infiltration that penetrates all levels of the government in every village and city street. The CCP controls not only its party members and party affairs, but also controls those who are not members, because the entire regime must adhere to the party's leadership. The decision process within the party operates like a black box, as the intra-party struggles must be kept in absolute secrecy. Party documents are all confidential. Dreading exposure of their criminal acts, the CCP frequently tackles dissidents by charging them with the so-called crime of divulging state secrets. Joining the CCP is like signing an irrevocable contract to sell one's body and soul. With the party's rules being always above the laws of the nation, the party can dismiss any party member at will, while the individual party member cannot quit the CCP without incurring severe punishment. Quitting the party is considered disloyal and will bring about dire consequences. During the Cultural Revolution, when the CCP cult held absolute rule, it was well known that if the party wanted you dead, you could not live. If the party wanted you alive, you could not die. If a person committed suicide, he would be labeled as dreading the people's punishment for his crime, and his family members would also be implicated and punished. At their regular meetings, members of the Communist Party must criticize themselves and others. They must report their thoughts to the party and voluntarily accept the party's mind control. Periodically, violence and terror are used to test members' sense of party nature and to test their devotion to the party, while assuring they keep in step with the party forever. Mao Zedong said, "A revolution is not a dinner party, or writing an essay, or painting a picture, or doing embroidery. It cannot be so refined, so leisurely and gentle, so temperate, kind, courteous, restrained, and magnanimous. A revolution is an insurrection, an act of violence by which one class overthrows another." Deng Xiaoping recommended killing 200,000 people in exchange for 20 years' stability. Jiang Zemin ordered, when talking about Falun Gong practitioners, destroy them physically, ruin their reputation, and bankrupt them financially. The CCP promotes violence and has killed countless people throughout its political movements. It educates people to treat the enemy as cold as the severe winter. The CCP makes an exhibition of heroic examples to encourage young people to sacrifice for the party. At the end of the 1970s, the CCP launched a war against Vietnam along the Chinese-Vietnam border in the name of self-defense. Tens of thousands of Chinese soldiers sacrificed blood and life for this struggle between the communist parties. Their deaths had in fact nothing to do with territory or sovereignty. Nevertheless, several years later, the CCP memorialized the senseless sacrifice of so many naive and bright young lives. In the song, "Heroism Stained with Blood," 154 Chinese martyrs died in 1981, recapturing Mount Pha in Guangxi province. But the CCP casually returned it to Vietnam after China and Vietnam surveyed the boundary.